Hello, I'm Dale Leftwich with RealAgriculture. Today I'm with Dylan Sher. Dylan Sher is a film producer from Guelph, Ontario. Hello, Dylan.
How's it going?
It's going really well. We're here with Farm and Food Care Saskatchewan. They have a food influencers tour going on, and Dylan is here, and he's got something coming out fairly quickly. Do you want to just talk about the project you're working on, Dylan?
Sure. So Before the Plate is a feature-length documentary that we've actually submitted to the Toronto International Film Festival. And what we're doing is we're taking one plate of food and following each ingredient all the way back to the farms they came from, and trying to give people kind of a better understanding of where their food comes from. But the cool thing is we're kind of tying in a foodie piece, really kind of putting an accent on the cooking, and the whole movie, essentially the documentary, is about Canoe Restaurant, which is a famous restaurant in downtown Toronto, and their head chef John Horn is actually going to be coming on the journey with us. He's the head character.
I'm just going to stop you for a second. So,
Yeah.
But it's not just about food then at the end. A lot of shows are about showing what's on the plate. But your production is called Before the Plate.
Exactly.
Okay, so why is that special angle important to you? What's before the plate?
So, Before the Plate for me personally is very important from a farming perspective, because I think that's an important story that doesn't always get told in the city. But the reason that we included the plate in any of it is because we wanted the cooking aspect, we wanted that kind of foodie aspect for the consumers to really get behind, and something they could relate to. A farming film is cool, but I think for a lot of people where I come from in the city, that's not really of much interest to them.
So you come from the city, so you want to include the entire food production so that people understand it. But you're coming to this with a new set of eyes. You're from Toronto, and you didn't grow up on a farm at all. You want to talk a little bit about why you want to explore the entire process?
Yeah, so having no farm experience, I had a very kind of negative view around agriculture growing up. And that was kind of my drive to actually get into the industry, was I wanted to try and help change and all sorts of things. And there's definitely changes that are coming, and there's positive things that are coming down the pipe for sure. But my perspective on how we're doing, and I say we, now that I'm kind of involved in agriculture as an industry, is completely different. Having an understanding of what some of the big scary terms mean really, I think, allow me to tell it in a more palatable way, for lack of a better word, to my friends back home, because I knew what they think, because I once thought that.
So this project, I think, has gotten a little bit of buzz. People are already really expecting it with anticipation. So when you put it together, you're actually using fellow students, I think, from the University of Guelph. Is that right?
University of Guelph is very heavily involved in the film from people who are in front of the camera. A lot of the farmers are all Guelph grads. The film's actually directed primarily by my good friend Sagi Kahan Report, and he's from Ryerson. So all the
from
Ryerson, yeah.
Okay.
So all the film crew and that kind of thing are now all ex-Ryerson students. Yeah, graduated Ryerson students.
So this must have been quite a project for them. I think you ended up having quite a bit of equipment that was made available to you. Otherwise, there's no way this could have been made. Is that right?
For sure. This is what they do. They're amazing at it. A lot of the guys have worked on some pretty big projects, commercials for large brands and so on. And we're very fortunate that we raised enough money to be able to get access to the best cameras in the business. And this was a young crew. They were trying to continue making a name for themselves, which they've done already. And I'm very proud to have them on board with us, and also very fortunate that they helped us when the pay wasn't that great compared to lots of other projects they had that they could go on.
So this, how long, you say a feature-length presentation then, and how long is it actually?
So that's a 90-minute film, is a feature length, but people ask me, oh wow, can't believe it's 90 minutes. Well, it could have been 5 or 6 hours to cut it down. Yeah, it was very difficult.
Yeah. So then what are you doing in terms of making sure that people are actually able to see this? How are you making it available to the public, or what's the next step, I guess?
Yeah, so next steps right now are kind of in the working. We've actually sold out our premiere screening at the Isabel Bader Theatre in downtown Toronto, which is 500 seats, and that's coming up on August 5th. So really excited about that.
Yeah.
The next steps we're really not sure, but basically the reason is we're trying to get distribution, trying to get a licensing deal, and that best case scenario would land up on Netflix or Amazon or something where people could stream it right at home, and it's up there with a lot of the other documentaries that showcase agriculture, and I hopefully provides maybe a bit of a different perspective than maybe some of those documentaries did.
Okay, so what about film film conferences? Like, I think you got one coming up in Toronto fairly quickly.
Film conference, like a festival kind of thing?
Festival, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
no problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've submitted to lots of different festivals across the country. Things like the Toronto International Film Festival are massive, and our chances of getting in there are smaller, just because it's not a large budget film. But there's kind of a few tiers in the film festival world, and we're at least hopefully a tier 2 project and tier 3 as well. So maybe not the Toronto International Film Festival this year, but we're going to find out soon. But other local film festivals hopefully will be showing this movie.
Okay, so when is it? It's coming out fairly quickly, I think. Is that right? When is it? When is your debut?
Well, the premiere is on August 5th.
On August 5th, so it's coming up fairly quick. So
It's over a week, yeah.
Just over a week away, yeah. So you must be excited about that.
Yeah, very excited, very nervous. Last minute details are coming together, making sure all the tickets are sorted out and everything. But I think it just goes to show, to sell out 500 seats on the August long weekend just shows the support of the community and who's really excited to see this film. And also, many people driving in far, far away to come and see it. As far as Chatham in Ontario, it's a 3-hour drive in. So.
Yeah. So when are you? What are your hopes to achieve with this film then?
I think provide a new perspective for people in the city that haven't maybe seen the whole story about where their food comes from. It's not. There's no real end message in it as far as do this or don't do that.
Right.
Which I think is rare in the documentary kind of space that we live in. It's an understanding. It's here's the journey of your food. These are the farmers' thoughts, and this is why they do these particular things. And now you know, and hopefully there's some comfort in that. But I think the end message from before the plate is pride in Canadian food and Canadian farming, which, funny enough, this project's 2 years old, but I think is a very appropriate message at this time.
Right, sure. Pride in Canadian food and pride in Canadian farming. I think that's really quite good. So anyway, I want to thank you very much, Dylan, for coming out to Saskatchewan to participate in the Farm and Food Care Influencers Tour, and I hope that your film becomes very influential.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks.